Well, hey everybody. A couple years ago, I watched a movie called Morning Glory with Rachel McAdams. She's like a newscaster, and she's like a newscaster of a morning show, and so it's a little bit different than prime time. It's focusing on politics a lot. And so, anyways, Harrison Ford is in it too, and so he was like a Dan Rather type guy, really focused on like the important news that people need to know. And there's one scene where Harrison Ford and Rachel McAdams get into a scuffle, and Rachel says, I forget what her name is in the movie, there was a debate in the country a few years ago between what people wanted more, information or entertainment. And she said entertainment won. And Harrison Ford's character kind of like disagrees with it, No, people are smart. They want information. And so anyways, it comes out like the rest of the movie that entertainment obviously wins. And for me, that's a pretty good example of what is true today, I think. And so my question with kind of this video, I don't know if I think my dogs can hear me talking, so now they want to come back in. Man, it's a bad time for dogs if you have them because it's all muddy outside. But so my question with the news today is like, is this true just overall? Is this just, and even in the country, like even into politics, is just the whole kind of thing just about entertainment? Obviously, there's stuff going on in the government with Medicaid insurance and immigration right now. But what I've wondered is like the things that the primetime shows cover. I'm guessing you could find some more boring news, and it's kind of like this is true, and I think why news shows are the way they are. It's like either they're really about information and they're super boring, or they're entertaining, but they just focus on a few topics, And so like the Fox News shows, especially the primetime ones, that's what I just have chosen to watch. Especially since like CNN and stuff, they are just kind of reporting fake news and stuff like that. Not that I'm trying to just regurgitate what Donald Trump says. But anyways, what I was wondering is, I keep hearing these things about, people in the liberal Democrat government that have committed felonies. Right? It's like, okay, Hillary Clinton, it's like Greg Jarrett is this lawyer, maybe he's a judge or something, and Jeanine Pirro, I think is her name, she's a judge. There's, all these people that they know the law, and they'll sit on some of these shows and they'll say, Hillary Clinton, this was a felony, okay? It's like that's just what it was, what they committed. And there's like evidence to support it. And then that was like a year or two ago that I heard stuff like that, and now it's 2 years later and no one goes to jail and they're still talking about the same stuff. And so my question is, with stuff like with Hillary Clinton stuff, is it just all for entertainment, And the people that could bust them or whatever, is that all just entertainment too? Is there some other, I know this is kind of a weird thing to say, but that's just my question. I think there's other things going on too. And I've been around some conversations and I've watched some shows that is talking about, what's really going on in America, like why, like even, I think in Fox News they call it the deep state, which I've never really heard anybody explain that. I think it's just my assumption. Maybe I kind of connected it in one show that it's the special interest groups that support the candidates or the people who are in power, like in the representatives, the senators and everything, it's like they give them money for their candidacy and whatever, and I'm sure money in their pocket as well. Let's just be honest. Because it's like, well, if it's your candidacy and they're paying for your hotel rooms, nice food, nice everything, it's like, well, you're just kind of like living on their dime for your year of candidacy. It's like, what's the difference? They're paying for like a nice car for you to drive or whatever. It's like you're just living on their dime. So, anyways. Back to the deep state type stuff, I've also heard other things about like the transformation of America, and Barack Obama, that was his goal, was to fundamentally change America. And it really did feel quite different, for the 8 years he was in power. And now, America is quite different now. And so, anyways, this is kind of a bigger conversation. And I don't like to get into conspiracy type stuff. But I guess my question is like, why? At the end of the day, I mean, if you just imagine for yourself, if America was run in a lawful way, then the people in the government, they would actually be for the people, of the people, by the people, just like the Constitution says. And if they do things that are breaking the law, they go to jail. It's like they're actually our servants. Like I've never understood about like respecting the office of the presidency is like something like we're serving him. It's like, no, he serves us. Like I don't respect him in any other way. It's like, especially if there's some guy I don't respect, like Barack Obama. It's like, no, I don't respect him. I just think that's sort of a backwards way of thinking. And so, anyways, if our country was really, operated the way it was set up, the Constitution, then we'd see a lot of different things happening. We'd see people going to jail. Like the thing that I'm watching right now is the Fusion GPS thing, right? And so this company made this fake dossier, they call it, that said that Donald Trump did all this illegal stuff with Russia. And now they're finding out tonight that they used that dossier to get a warrant, FISA warrant, I guess, I don't know what that is, a FISA warrant to tap his phone lines and, just kind of do shit, just underground things to find out what he was saying, what he was doing. That's if there's nothing wrong with the candidate, then it's totally illegal to do that. But this dossier, they went to the FBI or whatever to get a warrant to do this, to kind of tap his phone lines and to whatever else, to just get into his communication networks, to get information and dirt on him. They used this dossier to say, hey, this is what's going on. And the thing about the dossier is that, maybe you've heard, I don't know if you've heard these names, Christopher Steele is kind of the main guy from that company that made this thing up. He just made it up. I mean, he took things like, he used the right names like Donald Trump and whatever, but then he just started making stuff up like, yeah, the Russians did this and that. And it came out like, I guess, a year ago today. And I remember when it first came out, it was all this weird sexual stuff. Like he peed on people and like did all this nasty sexual stuff with like girls in hotel rooms. And that was the thing that first came out. And that was totally made up. And so anyways, there's a whole bunch of like illegal things going on, especially with using a fake dossier. First of all, like, why are these people not, I mean, you can make fake stuff up, I guess, and just, I mean, isn't that called slander when you make stuff up and then give it to people where it's going to be used for like important things? Isn't that called like defamation or slander? So anyways, that's what kind of tipped me off to make this video, is like, I guess I'm just confused, I guess, and I'll talk to my dad or people that have been around the system for a while, and they'll say stuff like, well, they got to prove this, prove that, and, well, it's proven. It's like, I've watched plenty of these shows where they're like, oh, here's the evidence, here's the law, felony, 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 and then it's like, well, and then I watch it like a month later, and they have basically the same exact show on. Here's the evidence, here's the law, broke it, felony, felony, felony. Hillary Clinton or like Jim Comey or all these people that have done illegal things. And then I'll hear him say things like, Jim Comey's going to be in a lot of trouble, to make it dramatic. There's a lot of drama in the news and whatever. But I guess, entertainment, whatever. I mean, who doesn't like to be entertained? But at the end of the day, if entertainment is prolonging, I think entertainment has like a bigger part to do with, I don't know. I don't think entertainment is what causes the people who are in like the government or in law to, like in the FBI and whatever, to do or not do things. I think there's other agendas going on there. But I guess in the news, the reason that the news is not only like a TV show to watch, but it's actually a part of society, is because we don't have time to, if you're working a 40-hour day job or 4-hour a week job and you have kids and other things going on, you don't have time to research all this stuff, okay? And so the reason that the media is supposed to kind of like swear an oath, I mean, I don't think they actually do this, but it should be more of like, or like a legal thing. Like if you don't tell the truth on, like, CNN should not be on the airwaves anymore, really, because they're not serving a society. And so the reason that the news is a problem for, I think, even more of like our country is because if they don't really report, if they just prolong this drama and not just like stop and say, wait, this is illegal, these people need to go to jail. And I guess some of these places are, like Sean Hannity kind of does that, but I guess like they're also perpetuating this drama that's going on. And so I think somehow, I don't have it all figured out, I just wanted to make this video to say, like, it just seems peculiar to me that because the news programs are so bent, so focused on ratings, and they know that entertainment is what people want, and so therefore it gets the ratings, then people just keep watching it because they like to be entertained, and they kind of like, the priorities get shifted. Entertainment is here, and like information, or also like right and wrong, and like if people need to go to jail, is like down here. And so it's kind of like, it's number two, so it's not like it's way down here off the map, but because they like to be entertained more, it's kind of like watching a soap opera. It's kind of like with a soap opera, like, how have these shows been on for so long? It's like, you think eventually something would be resolved, but it's like there's always this drama, of like, well, this person had an affair with this person, all these things happen. It's sort of the same thing with the news. It's just basically like a prime time, like an evening soap opera. And so that's kind of all I wanted to say. Sorry if I meandered a little bit there. But yeah, if you have anything to say about this, go ahead and comment. If you're a Democrat, we're probably just gonna get into a fight, because I don't believe Democrats I think there's a whole bunch of like wrong things about them, liberal stuff. So, but anyways, if you want to comment just about this idea about the entertainment on the news and why people aren't being prosecuted for felonies, particularly, like, that's kind of a bigger classification of like, you go to jail for a longer time, then go ahead and comment, All right. See you later, guys.